Randell Clifford means, born January 3rd, 1985. Another day of interesting facts. So, I was a student at Howard University from January 2006 until December 2008. I left Washington, D.C., or the area, in January of 2009. Did not go to my graduation for a reason. So, I was assaulted. Could have been a setup, who knows? Shot in the head, bullet ricocheted at a house party in 2007. Um, had a bump on my forehead where I have the scar still there, where I had to get plastic surgery at George Washington University Hospital because from that bump from the gun, and I was left unconscious, there was tissue in the vein where George Washington University Hospital had to do the surgery. Howard University did not want to pay for my surgery, even though I was a full scholarship athlete. The irony that my godmother, Claudia James from Atlanta, Georgia, also Sweet Home Baptist Church, which is now the Henry Ford Cancer Center downtown, and she actually died from cancer, breast cancer, but also she worked 30 plus years at HAP Health Insurance. HAP Health Insurance paid for my plastic surgery at George Washington University Hospital. Facts, paper trail. So that being said, there's a couple individuals in the car that found me a block from the house party when I was left unconscious, and it's in the Hilltop paper that I, have saved. It's also online. Hilltop, October 2007, when Barack Obama, who was a senator, was there, and he's on the front cover of that paper with me at the bottom right corner, with also the new HIV pill next to my segment on that cover, which is funny. Karen Grant from West Bloomfield, Michigan, or Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, who is now in NASCAR, but she worked for the Free Press in high school in Michigan. Also worked for numerous papers after college, but also worked for the Hilltop in DC while we were students, and we're good friends. She took my article, my whole report, and gave it to her friend, Winnie Clark from New York, and she was the publisher. They had publisher for the paper and wrote the story. Long story short, there's a few individuals in the car that found me unconscious. Edwin Piner from UAD High School, who worked for Ford Corporation when he came back to Michigan. Also hung out with me many times in high school, a little bit in DC. A.J. Baldwin from Cincinnati, Ohio. Arthur J. Baldwin, better known as. And some other football players. Won't name those names. But Arthur was an undercover cop or working for the police department there at that time period. And also, he played football for the team in 2006 before the coaches got fired and the new coaching staff came in. He stopped, but he was also ROTC at Howard University and was a good friend of mine. And before I graduated, while I was living in Arlington, Virginia, before I left DC, he actually invited me on the boat with his mentor, who was very high in the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, at that time period for like 30 years. And there was a few individual women on that boat with us as witnesses. After that, I went to go to his condo where he had a wife and 2 children at that time period in college. So with him. And the irony that, or the craziness that, I haven't been back to DC since 2009. Came back to Michigan. So many things occurred for about an 8-year period, and that's mostly the Obama years, ironically. Hey, it is what it is. But let's just say it's a deeper connection besides me dating Simone Hazel Stevenson, whose father's a doctor in Chicago. It's a lot of deeper stuff than that through the years. But Arthur was killed. He became Secret Service for years after we graduated, and he actually, some side chick he had, supposedly, he broke into our house and the Secret Service DC police arrested him. And then Obama administration took his badge and, discharged him from the Secret Service. And then he gets randomly killed by some 14-year-old gangbanger in DC for a robbery in broad daylight back in 2015. Those are the Obama years, ironically. I bounced up out of DC. I was in DC the last 2 years of Bush. I didn't stay for the inauguration. I had my $1 million condo from an Asian married couple in Arlington, Virginia, CIA, like 8 minutes from CIA in our facility. Something told me, I could have stayed there until I had enough money. I had a co-signed loan from my mother, as well as Daniel R. Tovar from the Naval Academy, as well as Tactical Wireless Warfare. Also, my NFL agent, and he actually is the owner of Domination Sports. It has all my highlights from college on YouTube back in 2008. He owns that. And he's actually a VP of an IT corporation right now in Virginia. He co-signed my loan with JP Morgan. Ironically, I met Jamie Dimon my first month in DC while I was in the School of Business of Finance as a finance major at Howard University before I changed it to political science and graduated on time to keep my full scholarship. But I had, the situation with my scholarship to finish my last semester. When I came back after the NFL draft situation, that's a long another story.